Listen carefully. Because starting now, you're going to learn the one mental skill that 99% of people will never master: emotional stability under pressure. While the world reacts, you will respond. While others panic, you will think clearly. While people lose control, you will rise above the noise with calm, calculated strength. This audiobook will teach you the psychological techniques that keep your reactions steady, powerful, and untouchable, no matter what is happening around you. From this moment forward, you are no longer controlled by chaos. You control yourself. Chapter 1. Stop reacting, start responding. Listen carefully. Most people live their lives on autopilot. They react. They explode. They panic. They lash out. They apologize too late. They regret decisions that could have been controlled in the first 2 seconds. You are not most people. You are here to master yourself. And mastery begins with this: stop reacting. Start responding. You have a choice. Every moment presents the same question: will you react like the crowd, or will you respond like the master? That's the key. It's not about being emotionless. It's not about pretending to be calm. It's about discipline. Pause first. Respond second. Repeat that in your mind until it becomes your automatic instinct. Think about the last time you lost control. Maybe it was an argument with a friend. Maybe a coworker cut you off. Maybe someone insulted you in public. What happened? You reacted instantly. You spoke before thinking. You let emotion dictate action. That split-second reaction shaped the outcome, and not in your favor. Most people never stop to see this pattern. But you will. You will stop. You will pause. You will respond. Here's the rule. The first 2 seconds are yours to command. 2 seconds. Not 5. Not 10. 2 seconds. That is all it takes to redirect the trajectory of your day, your relationship, your career, your life. During those 2 seconds, take a breath. Inhale slowly. Exhale slowly. Reset your mind. Center yourself. These 2 seconds are your armor. These 2 seconds define whether you are controlled or controlling. Pause first. Respond second. Let's break this down into real-world practice. Imagine a colleague throws criticism your way. A comment meant to trigger anger, to embarrass, to provoke. Most people react immediately. Their face tightens, their tone rises, and the moment spirals out of control. That is reactivity. That is weakness. You are not here to be weak. You have a choice. You pause. 2 seconds. Maybe 3. You inhale. You exhale. You consider your response. You choose your words. You control the outcome. That's discipline. That's power. Pause first. Respond second. Now consider the emotional triggers that hit you every day. Maybe someone cuts in line. Maybe a text irritates you. Maybe a social media post annoys you. Every single one of these moments is an opportunity to practice. Every single one is a chance to prove your mastery. You don't need their permission to stay calm. You don't need approval to maintain control. It's not about their behavior. It's about your discipline. You want proof that this works? Look at high performers, top athletes, leaders in business, military officers. What do they have in common? They don't react impulsively. They respond intentionally. They have trained their first 2 seconds. They control the story before it controls them. And so can you. You have a choice. You have the power. You have the ability to pause first and respond second. That's the key. Let's talk technique. When faced with a trigger, notice it. Acknowledge the surge of emotion. Name it internally. This is anger. This is irritation. This is surprise. Label it. Naming it reduces its power. Awareness is the first act of control. Breathe. 2 deep breaths. Inhale, Exhale. Slow the body down. Slow the mind down. Physical control supports mental control. You are no longer a hostage to instinct. Pause first. Respond second. Consider your objective. What do you want to achieve? What outcome serves your long-term goal? Let your response come from that objective, not from fleeting emotion. Responding is strategic. Reacting is impulsive. Reacting is wasted energy. Responding is power. Repeat this practice daily. Every conversation, every interaction, every challenge is your gym. Every moment is an opportunity to strengthen the reflex of pause and response. Eventually, it becomes automatic. Your body moves before panic. Your mind calculates before anger. Your words land with impact because they are chosen, not spilled. Pause first. Respond second. Here's a harsh truth most people refuse to face. Reactivity is laziness. It is the failure to exercise your mental muscles. Reactivity is surrender. Response is mastery. Response is ownership. Response is what separates winners from the crowd. You have a choice. Every day, every second, every thought. Pause first. Respond second. Now, let's apply this in high-pressure situations. Traffic, arguments, family stress, work emergencies. Life throws chaos at everyone. Most people let it control them. But you will not. You will pause. You will respond. You will maintain clarity. You will protect your energy. Pause first. Respond second. Let it echo in your mind until it becomes instinct. You will find that controlling yourself changes how the world responds to you. People notice. They respect calm. They follow clarity. They defer to discipline. Here's another secret. Responding builds confidence. Reacting builds regret. When you pause, you see clearly. When you pause, you act strategically. When you pause, you maintain dignity. Reacting is surrender. Responding is victory. Victory in small moments becomes victory in life. Victory in small moments becomes mastery over chaos. Pause first. Respond second. Repeat it, live it, embody it. Now, let's reinforce one last principle. Consistency is everything. One calm response does not make you mastered. One panicked reaction does not break you. But patterns build habits. Habits build character. Character builds your mental armor. Every interaction is a repetition of your discipline. Every challenge is a rehearsal for control. Every moment is a chance to pause first and respond second. That's the key. By now, you understand the concept. By now, you see the advantage. But understanding is not enough. You must practice. You must train. You must make this automatic. The world will not wait for your learning curve. Chaos will continue. People will continue to trigger. Life will continue to challenge. Your choice is simple: react and lose, or pause and respond. Pause first. Respond second. Let that phrase become your mantra. Let it become your identity. Let it define you. You have practiced. You have paused. You have responded. You have proven to yourself that control is possible. You have begun the transformation. You are no longer a prisoner of impulse. You are no longer ruled by chaos. You are no longer reactive. You respond. You master. You win. And now, as you carry this skill forward, remember, you mastered your reactions. Now, let's talk about the true currency of your life. Chapter 2. Control your inner state before the world controls it. Listen carefully. The world will not wait for you to be ready. Life will throw stress, pressure, and chaos at you every single day. Traffic snarls. Deadlines loom. Colleagues argue. People provoke. Problems appear where you least expect them. Most people react. Most people let external circumstances dictate their internal state. Most people are slaves to their environment. Not you. Not anymore. The first step in mastery is understanding this simple truth: your internal state determines everything. The situation does not control you. State first. Situation second. You have a choice. You can allow external events to dictate your emotions, your decisions, your actions. Or you can take control of your inner state and force the world to respond to you. That's the key. State first. Situation second. Say it aloud. Repeat it until it echoes in your mind. Internal control is your superpower. No one else can give it to you. You don't need their permission. You create it. You own it. Think about a stressful meeting. A project goes off track. Your boss criticizes you. Your team disagrees. Most people let panic rise, frustration take over, or anger explode. Chaos grows. That is reactivity. That is failure. But you? You pause. You check your inner state. You slow your breathing. You stabilize your thoughts. You assess the facts. You respond deliberately. State first. Situation second. That is control. That is power. That is discipline. Here's a practical technique. Whenever pressure hits, ask yourself, what state am I in? Name it. I am frustrated. I am anxious. I am impatient. Labeling your state immediately separates you from it. Awareness creates control. Awareness is the first weapon in the mental toolkit. Next, take command. Choose your state. Decide to be calm. Decide to be present. Decide to act with clarity. This is not wishful thinking. This is deliberate control. State first. Situation second. You have a choice. Every single time. Traffic. The ultimate daily test. Cars cut you off. Red lights stretch endlessly. Horns blare. Most drivers let frustration take over. Their mood spirals, their thoughts darken, their energy drains. You breathe. You reset. You choose patience. You focus on what you can control, your speed, your lane, your reaction. The world remains chaotic. You remain calm. State first. Situation second. This is mastery. Not luck. Not timing. Discipline. Practice it. Live it. Repeat it. Let's take it deeper. Your inner state affects not just your reactions, but your decisions, your communication, your influence. Leaders understand this. Athletes understand this. High performers understand this. They know that when their mind is calm, decisions are precise. When their mind is calm, communication is clear. When their mind is calm, influence grows. Panic destroys clarity. Frustration destroys strategy. Chaos destroys results. You have a choice. You decide the state you operate from. State first. Situation second. That's the key. Here's a real-world example. A team meeting goes off the rails. Voices are raised. Blame is thrown. The project is failing. Everyone is losing their minds. Most people join the chaos. Most people panic. You check your state. You slow your voice. You slow your movements. You listen more than you speak. You assess. You guide. You respond from control. Others follow because calm commands attention. Calm commands respect. Calm commands action. State first. Situation second. Repeat it. Embed it. Own it. You must also recognize triggers. Every person, situation, and environment has triggers that attempt to hijack your state. Traffic, social media, aggressive coworkers, family arguments, even personal stress. These are all triggers. But here's the truth. Triggers are neutral. They have no inherent power. You give them power when you allow your internal state to be dictated by them. You have a choice. That's the key. State first. Situation second. You are not a victim of circumstance. You are the master of your internal climate. Another practical exercise, the 60-second reset. When stress arises, close your eyes for 60 seconds. Inhale for 4 counts. Hold for 4 counts. Exhale for 6 counts. Repeat 3 times. During this reset, repeat your mantra, state first, situation second. Focus on controlling your mind. Control your energy. Reclaim your center. This builds automatic resilience. This creates a habit of responding rather than reacting. This makes calm your default. Remember this, your internal state is contagious. When you remain calm, others adjust around you. Panic spreads quickly. Calm spreads powerfully. Be the calm in the storm. Be the center. Be the one who responds, not reacts. You have a choice. You have influence. You have discipline. Use it. State first. Situation second. Repeat it. Live it. Own it. Let it guide every decision you make today, tomorrow, and forever. A warning: the world will attempt to pull you back into chaos. Old habits will try to resurface. Impulses will demand immediate reaction. Fear, frustration, anger, they are all part of human wiring. That's normal. But normal does not equal mastery. Normal does not equal control. Normal equals surrender. You are not normal. You are deliberate. You are calculated. You are disciplined. Every time you choose your state over the situation, you strengthen your mental armor. You have a choice. You always have a choice. State first. Situation second. Here's the takeaway. The world will never stop testing you. Chaos will always exist. Life will always push against you. But mastery is simple. Control your internal state first. Respond from that position. Let the external world follow your lead. Discipline your mind. Discipline your energy. Discipline your reactions. Repeat your mantra, state first. Situation second. Make it automatic. Make it instinct. Make it who you are. You now understand the principle. You see how internal control creates external power. You can feel it. You can practice it. You can own it. The next step is to combine this internal mastery with outward influence. You mastered your inner state. Now, let's explore how detachment becomes your ultimate tool. Chapter 3. Emotional detachment is not coldness, it's power. Listen carefully. Most people confuse emotional detachment with coldness. They think detachment means being unfeeling. They think it means shutting down, withdrawing, or being indifferent. That is wrong. That is weakness disguised as defense. Emotional detachment is not coldness. Emotional detachment is power. It is your mental shield. It protects your energy. It protects your focus. It keeps you operating at your best, regardless of what the world throws at you. Detach, don't absorb. Repeat it. Embed it. Own it. You have a choice. Every interaction, every conversation, every situation gives you the same question. Will you absorb the chaos, or will you detach and stay in control? That's the key. You don't need their permission to protect your state. You don't need anyone to tell you it's acceptable to stay calm while they lose theirs. Detachment is your right. Detachment is your responsibility. Detach, don't absorb. Think about the people who drain your energy. The drama seekers. The manipulators. The provocateurs. Most people fall into their trap. They react. They argue. They over-explain. They get emotionally hijacked. Their focus disappears. Their productivity collapses. That is losing power. That is weakness. You watch. You listen. You assess. You maintain your mental boundary. Detach, don't absorb. That is control. That is strength. That is discipline. Here's the harsh truth. Most people give away their mental energy for free. They allow insults, criticism, gossip, and manipulation to penetrate. They give up hours, sometimes days, in pointless emotional battles. That's the trap. You do not fall for it. You have a choice. You set boundaries. You refuse to absorb what is not yours. That's the key. Detach, don't absorb. Let's break down the technique. Step 1. Awareness. Recognize when someone is trying to pull you in. Label it internally. This is manipulation. This is provocation. This is drama. Awareness is the first act of power. Awareness allows you to act deliberately. Without awareness, detachment is impossible. Step 2. Mental separation. Imagine a barrier between your mind and the person or situation. You are observing, not participating. You are immune to their chaos. Step 3. Focus on your objective. What outcome serves you? Respond from your goal, not from their emotional attempt to control you. Repeat, detach, don't absorb. Now let's apply it in real life. Family gatherings, office politics, online debates, social media arguments. Someone tries to trigger you. Maybe they insult you. Maybe they provoke you. Most people react. Most people lose focus. Most people allow a short moment to derail their entire day. Not you. You detach. You protect your state. You keep your energy intact. You respond if necessary, from clarity, not emotion. Detach, don't absorb. Here's another critical principle. Detachment is proactive, not reactive. You don't wait until chaos hits to protect yourself. You prepare your mind daily. You reinforce your boundaries. You remind yourself, you control your energy, not them. You are responsible for your state, not theirs. You have a choice. You don't need their permission. Detach, don't absorb. That's the key. Consider your workspace. A colleague spreads gossip. Another complains incessantly. You feel the initial pull. Most people dive in. Most people respond with irritation, frustration, or defense. That is losing power. You detach. You choose to protect your focus. You do not participate in the drama. You redirect the conversation if needed. You continue forward. The world remains chaotic. You remain disciplined. Detach, don't absorb. Detachment also protects your emotions from personal attacks. Someone criticizes your work unfairly. Someone tries to make you feel small. Most people absorb the negativity. They argue. They fight. They internalize it. They let it linger. That is wasted energy. That is surrender. You have a choice. You pause. You detach. You acknowledge the comment without letting it control you. You respond from clarity and facts. You preserve your mental space. Detach, don't absorb. Here's a practical exercise. At the start of your day, visualize a protective barrier around your mind. Imagine that nothing from outside can penetrate it unless you choose. Remind yourself every hour, detach, don't absorb. Test it. Apply it. Reinforce it. The more you practice, the more automatic it becomes. The world can scream. The world can provoke. The world can attempt to manipulate. You remain the calm observer. You remain the master of your energy. You have a choice. That's the key. Another harsh truth. Emotional detachment is uncomfortable at first. You will feel a pull to engage. You will feel the habit to react. That is normal. That is your old programming. You overwrite it with discipline. You overwrite it with repetition. Detach, don't absorb. You will notice the difference immediately. Your energy lasts longer. Your focus intensifies. Your decisions improve. Your influence grows. People notice the calm strength you radiate. Detachment is not distance. Detachment is not coldness. Detachment is control. Detachment is power. You must remember one final point. Detachment is a muscle. It grows with consistent practice. Every argument you avoid reacting to, every provocation you neutralize, every emotional trap you step around, strengthens your mental shield. Over time, detachment becomes instinctive. Over time, chaos loses its ability to touch you. Over time, you become untouchable. Detach, don't absorb. Repeat it. Live it. Own it. Embed it in your identity. You now understand the principle. You see the advantage. You know the techniques. Awareness, separation, focus, repetition. They create a mental shield no one can pierce. You have a choice. You have control. You have power. Detach, don't absorb. Practice it daily. Strengthen it relentlessly. Let it guide every interaction. Let it preserve your energy. Let it amplify your influence. And now, as your detachment becomes your weapon, you are ready to take control over your outward expressions, your presence, and your influence. You mastered detachment. Chapter 4. Master the art of keeping a neutral face. Listen closely. Your face is a weapon. Or it can be. Most people let their expressions betray them. A twitch of frustration. A raised eyebrow. A scowl. A smirk. A frown. That tiny movement reveals more than words ever could. It gives away power. It hands control to others. That ends today. You are learning a new rule: neutral face, powerful mind. Repeat it. Say it aloud. Let it sink into your instincts. You have a choice. You can allow your emotions to show on your face. Or you can master your expression. That's the key. It's not about suppressing your humanity. It's not about pretending to be stone. It's about discipline. It's about sending a message without saying a word. Neutral face, powerful mind. That phrase is your mantra. That phrase is your shield. Think about it. How often have you lost arguments, negotiations, or influence because your face betrayed you? Maybe someone insulted you. Maybe a colleague challenged your idea. Maybe a family member pushed your buttons. Most people immediately show their reaction. Their face tightens. Their jaw clenches. Their eyes flare. That is weakness. That is chaos. You are not here to give away your power. You are here to control it. Neutral face, powerful mind. Here's the first step: awareness. Notice how your face reacts in every situation. Check yourself in conversations, in meetings, in high-stress moments. Identify the micro-expressions that leak your emotions. That twitch. That scowl. That grin that says, "I'm upset," or "I'm frustrated." Awareness is the first act of discipline. Without awareness, control is impossible. You have a choice. Neutral face, powerful mind. Next, train your muscles. Yes, your face is made of muscles, and they can be trained like any other part of your body. Practice in front of a mirror. Speak aloud while maintaining a neutral expression. Hold it. Feel the discipline in your jaw, your eyes, your forehead. The more you practice, the more it becomes automatic. You don't need anyone's permission to master this. You only need consistency. Neutral face, powerful mind. Now, let's apply it in real-world scenarios. Imagine an argument. Someone tries to provoke you. Most people flinch. Most people raise their eyebrows, their lips tighten, their eyes flare. That is surrender. That is giving them control. You maintain calm. You hold your neutral face. Your mind remains sharp. Your energy remains intact. They do not know your thoughts. They do not know your emotions. They cannot predict your reaction. Neutral face, powerful mind. That is power. That is influence. That is mastery. Another example, a stressful work environment. Deadlines, pressure, criticism, panic spreading around you. Most people mirror the stress. They frown, grimace, shake their head. Their chaos becomes contagious. Not you. You remain neutral. You observe. You assess. You act with clarity. Your neutral face shields you. Your neutral face signals strength without saying a word. Neutral face, powerful mind. Repeat it until it is automatic. Repeat it until it becomes your identity. Here's a critical truth. Controlling your face changes your internal state. Research in psychology proves that facial expressions influence emotion. Frown enough, and your mood worsens. Smile too early, and it misleads your internal control. A neutral face keeps your mind anchored. Your internal state dictates your decisions, your clarity, your power. It is not about weakness. It is about discipline. Neutral face, powerful mind. That's the key. You must also control microreactions, small movements, subtle gestures, the little tells. Clenched fists, tapping fingers, rolling eyes. These betray you just as much as a frown. Train yourself to keep them neutral. Calm hands, relaxed shoulders, steady posture. Every detail communicates control. Every detail reinforces your mental dominance. You have a choice. Neutral face, powerful mind. Let's reinforce an actionable exercise. During every conversation today, maintain your neutral expression for 5 minutes. No frown, no smirk, no eyebrow raise. Only awareness and calm. Feel the power this gives you. Notice how others react when they cannot read your thoughts or emotions. Observe how calmness naturally draws attention and respect. That's the key. Practice consistently. Neutral face, powerful mind. Another practical tip: pair your neutral face with controlled breathing. When your heart rate rises, inhale slowly. Exhale slowly. Let the breath anchor your composure. Physical control reinforces mental control. Your face reflects your internal calm. Your calm guides your actions. Your actions shape outcomes. Neutral face, powerful mind. That is your silent command. Here's the final principle. Your expression is your first message to the world. Before words leave your mouth, before arguments begin, before stress spreads, your face communicates power or weakness. Make it power. Make it discipline. Make it automatic. Repeat your mantra, neutral face, powerful mind. Let it guide every interaction, every high-pressure moment, every conflict, every challenge. Let it define your presence. You have trained your mind to pause. You have trained your state to remain steady. You have trained detachment from chaos. Now, you train your face. Your outward presence. Your silent influence. When combined, these skills make you unshakable. You are no longer easily provoked. You are no longer readable. You are no longer controlled. Neutral face, powerful mind. Repeat it. Live it. Own it. And now, as you integrate this discipline into your daily interactions, remember, your calm exterior strengthens your internal state and amplifies your control over any environment. You mastered expression. You mastered observation. You mastered discipline. Now, let's move deeper into the power of silence itself. Chapter 5. Let your silence dominate the room. Listen carefully. Silence is not emptiness. Silence is not weakness. Silence is a weapon. Silence is power. Most people fear it. Most people panic when words stop. Most people feel compelled to fill every moment with noise, justification, or reaction. That is chaos. That is surrender. You are not most people. You are here to master control. You are here to dominate without saying a word. Silence speaks louder. Repeat it. Embed it. Make it your default. You have a choice. You can speak to react, or you can remain silent to influence. That's the key. You don't need anyone's permission to stay quiet. You don't need approval to assert power through restraint. Words can mislead. Words can betray. Words can escalate chaos. Silence does none of these. Silence forces clarity. Silence forces others to act first. Silence speaks louder. Think about a tense conversation, a negotiation, a confrontation. Someone challenges you. Someone attacks your idea. Most people respond immediately. Their voice rises. Their tone sharpens. Their words spill uncontrollably. That is surrender. That is panic disguised as argument. You pause. You hold your silence. You observe. You assess. You let them reveal their position first. Silence speaks louder. That is power. That is strategy. That is discipline. Here's the first step: awareness. Notice when you feel compelled to respond immediately. Recognize the impulse. Most people act on it without thinking. Most people escalate the situation unnecessarily. You have a choice. You breathe. You hold the silence. You maintain your composure. You control the narrative by not filling the space. That's the key. Silence speaks louder. Now, let's apply this in real-world scenarios. A heated meeting. A difficult client. A challenging team discussion. Someone pushes. Someone argues. Most people feel the need to talk first. Most people feel exposed if they stay quiet. That is weakness. You maintain silence. You let them speak. You listen. You gather information. You assess intent. You observe emotional cues. Silence speaks louder. You have the power because they are revealing themselves while you remain untouchable. Silence also builds tension in your favor. It forces the other person to fill the void. They reveal strategies, weaknesses, or motives they would not normally share. Silence is a mirror. It shows you their mindset while protecting yours. You have a choice. You don't need to react to the first word, the first attack, the first provocation. You wait. You control. Silence speaks louder. That's the key. Here's a practical technique. When confronted or challenged, pause for 3 deep breaths before responding. Let your silence create presence. Let your silence command attention. Let your silence dictate the pace of the interaction. Most people feel awkward when silence is held. That discomfort is your advantage. You have power. They are revealing. You are calm. Silence speaks louder. Another critical principle: combine silence with body language. Maintain a neutral face. Keep shoulders relaxed. Hands steady. Eye contact firm but calm. Silence alone is strong, but paired with controlled presence, it becomes unbreakable. Most people rely on words to assert dominance. You rely on restraint. You rely on observation. You rely on the tension that only your silence creates. Silence speaks louder. Silence also protects your energy. Speaking impulsively drains focus. Speaking without strategy gives away control. Silence preserves mental clarity. It preserves composure. It preserves influence. You have a choice. You can react immediately, losing power. Or you can pause, let the world move, and strike only when your advantage is clear. That's the key. Silence speaks louder. Consider a negotiation. Most people rush to respond. They explain. They justify. They overcommit. They weaken their position. You listen. You observe. You maintain calm. You let the other party reveal what they truly want. You only speak when it serves your strategy. Your silence becomes your leverage. Silence speaks louder. That is mastery. That is discipline. That is control. You must also recognize when silence becomes dangerous if broken prematurely. Impulsive speech undermines your power. Careless words reveal strategy, weakness, and emotion. That is the trap most people fall into. You do not fall into it. You have the discipline to remain silent until action is required. You have the awareness to know when words serve your advantage and when they destroy it. Silence speaks louder. Repeat it. Live it. Own it. Here's a practical exercise. In every interaction today, intentionally hold silence for 5 seconds before responding. Observe the shift in energy. Notice who adjusts. Notice what others reveal. Train your patience. Train your discipline. Train your influence. Every pause strengthens your mastery over situations. Every pause reinforces your internal calm. Every pause builds your presence. Silence speaks louder. Another harsh truth: silence is uncomfortable for many, especially when emotions run high. Your brain will urge you to speak. Old habits will push you to react. That is normal. That is opportunity. That is training. Each time you resist, each time you maintain your quiet control, your power grows. Your focus sharpens. Your influence expands. Silence speaks louder. That is the key. You now understand the principle. You see the advantage. You have tools to practice: awareness, controlled pauses, body language, observation, and strategic timing. Silence is your weapon, your shield, and your amplifier. You have a choice. You have control. You have the discipline to dominate without words. Silence speaks louder. And now, as you internalize this skill, remember, every moment of quiet is a moment of power gained. You mastered presence without speaking. You mastered observation. You mastered influence through restraint. Now, let's take the next step in controlling your emotions and reactions. Chapter 6. Build mental distance in every situation. Listen closely. Most people live too close to the moment. They get swept by emotions. They react immediately. They lose clarity. They let others' energy dictate their state. That ends now. You are here to learn how to create distance. You are here to observe first. You are here to act deliberately. Step back. See clearly. Say it. Anchor it. Live it. Mental distance is not avoidance. It is control. It is perspective. It allows you to see reality without the cloud of reactive emotion. When you face conflict, stress, or pressure, most people react unconsciously. They absorb tension. They match panic. They escalate chaos. You will not. You will pause. You will step back mentally. You will see clearly. Step back. See clearly. Repeat it until it becomes automatic. Here's the first practical step: visualization. When a tense situation arises, imagine yourself one layer removed. Picture the room, the people, the words as if you are watching from above. The events happen, but they do not touch you directly. You maintain calm. You observe without absorbing. Step back. See clearly. That's the key. That's control. That's mental discipline. Example: a heated meeting at work. Voices rise. Frustration spreads. Most people mirror the tension. They argue, they panic, they lose focus. You step back in your mind. You separate the facts from the noise. You see the motives, the triggers, the energy. You make decisions from clarity, not reaction. Step back. See clearly. That is your edge. That is your power. That is your freedom. Second step, emotional labeling. Identify what you feel and why, without acting on it immediately. I notice tension. I notice impatience. I notice frustration. Labeling creates space. Labeling builds distance. Labeling prevents absorption. Most people feel and react. You feel, label, and control. Step back. See clearly. That is mental toughness. That is self-discipline. That is emotional control. Third step, pause before action. Even 2 seconds can change everything. In those seconds, observe, assess, decide. The world moves fast, but mastery requires deliberate pacing. Pause first. Respond second. The 2-second pause becomes your shield. Most people skip it. They react instantly. You won't. Step back. See clearly. That is the habit that separates the reactive from the controlled. Now, let's apply this in relationships. Someone provokes you. Someone criticizes harshly. Someone panics under pressure. Most people jump in emotionally. They match the tone, the energy, the panic. You pause. You visualize the situation 1 step back. You assess the reality behind the reaction. You respond strategically or choose not to respond. Step back. See clearly. That is your discipline. That is your calm. That is your power. Mental distance also protects your focus. Every distraction, every emotional bait, every drama around you is an opportunity for others to control you. Most people give their mental space away unconsciously. Not you. You see the situation objectively. You separate stimulus from reaction. You decide your engagement. Step back. See clearly. That is your strength. That is your advantage. That is your mental mastery. Here's a real-world example. Traffic jam, shouting driver, honking horns. Most people get angry, escalate internally, stress themselves out. You observe. You recognize frustration without absorbing it. You breathe. You adjust your state before acting. Step back. See clearly. That is control in everyday life. That is the invisible skill that changes everything. Another technique, mental rehearsal. Before entering tense situations, visualize yourself remaining calm, detached, and clear. Imagine the worst-case scenarios. See yourself stepping back mentally, responding with clarity, remaining unshaken. Mental rehearsal builds automatic distance. Automatic distance builds calm. Calm builds control. Step back. See clearly. Repeat it until it is instinct. Remember, distance does not mean indifference. It means strategic engagement. It means awareness. It means power. You observe, you learn, you choose your response, and you protect your energy. Most people get pulled into chaos. You stay above it. You maintain clarity. Step back. See clearly. That is the key. That is the habit that defines mental toughness. That is the discipline that shapes results. Finally, practice this in layers. Start with small moments, a minor frustration, a minor disagreement, a slight irritation. Step back mentally. Observe without absorbing. Label emotions. Pause before acting. Build the habit. Then scale it to larger, more intense situations. Each success strengthens your control. Each practice embeds the skill deeper. Step back. See clearly. That is transformation. That is mastery. That is freedom. And now, as you internalize this skill, remember, every moment of observation, every layer of distance, every pause before reaction strengthens your control. You mastered perspective. You mastered clarity. You mastered calm under pressure. You mastered separating yourself from the emotional chaos around you. Next, we will focus on a critical skill. Don't mirror people's emotions, learning to stay stable while others lose theirs. Chapter 7. Don't mirror people's emotions. Listen carefully. Most people are slaves to the emotions around them. They see panic, anger, or frustration in others, and without thinking they match it. They absorb it. They react. That is weakness. That is surrender. You are not here to surrender. You are here to master your mind. You are here to remain steady when chaos rages around you. Their emotions are theirs, not yours. Say it. Repeat it. Anchor it in your behavior. Make it automatic. You have a choice. You can mirror the panic, the anger, the stress around you. Or you can step back, observe, and remain unshaken. That's the key. Emotional mimicry is a subconscious trap. People unconsciously copy the moods of those around them. But you are deliberate. You are aware. You choose what you let in. Their emotions are theirs, not yours. Repeat it until it becomes instinct. Think about daily life. Someone yells at you. Someone criticizes harshly. Someone panics in a meeting. Most people react immediately. They escalate. They lose clarity. You pause. You breathe. You maintain calm. You do not feed the emotion. You control your response. Their emotions are theirs, not yours. That is your shield. That is your power. That is your discipline. Here's the first technique: observe without absorbing. When someone expresses strong emotion, notice it as if you are watching a scene in a movie. The energy is there. The words are there. But it does not touch you unless you allow it. Step back mentally. Maintain clarity. Keep your internal state intact. Their emotions are theirs, not yours. That is control. That is mastery. Second technique: label the emotion externally, not internally. When someone expresses anger, frustration, or fear, acknowledge it outwardly without internalizing it. I see that you are frustrated. I hear that this situation is stressful for you. Do not let their state dictate yours. Do not mirror it unconsciously. Their emotions are theirs, not yours. Repeat it. Anchor it in every interaction. Third technique: control your energy, not theirs. Your energy is limited. Every time you mirror someone's frustration, you give away your clarity. Every time you absorb someone else's panic, you lose focus. Step back. Observe. Protect your state. Their emotions are theirs, not yours. That is your advantage. That is mental toughness. That is freedom. Consider real-world examples. A colleague panics before a deadline. A partner explodes in anger. A family member spirals into fear. Most people are pulled in, reacting with intensity. You remain the observer. You separate the energy from your decisions. You maintain clarity. You become the anchor in the storm. Their emotions are theirs, not yours. That is discipline. That is calm. That is power. Why does this matter? Emotional mimicry is invisible but deadly. It undermines decisions. It erodes confidence. It drains energy. Avoiding it allows you to think clearly, act deliberately, and maintain influence. You have a choice. You don't need their permission. You don't need to match the energy around you. Their emotions are theirs, not yours. That's the key. Another technique: mirror internally only with awareness. If you must empathize, observe the emotion, understand it, and then choose your response. Empathy is not mimicry. Empathy is understanding. Mimicry is unconscious reaction. Discipline is choosing your state regardless of external chaos. Their emotions are theirs, not yours. Repeat it. Live it. Own it. Social pressure amplifies emotional contagion. Groups, teams, or crowds spread fear, panic, or anger. Most people ride the wave unconsciously. Not you. Observe the energy. Remain the calm point. Respond deliberately. Control your reactions. Their emotions are theirs, not yours. That is your edge. That is your mastery. That is your mental toughness. Now let's break down a simple habit. When faced with strong emotion around you, pause. Observe. Breathe. Identify what is theirs and what is yours. Remind yourself, their emotions are theirs, not yours. Do this repeatedly. Every interaction is practice. Every test strengthens your mental muscle. Every pause reinforces your discipline. Their emotions are theirs, not yours. Anchor it. Repeat it. Live it. Extreme scenarios. A team panics before a critical project. A loved one explodes in anger. A friend floods the room with negativity. Most people react and mirror. You observe. You separate the energy. You remain steady. You choose your engagement. Their emotions are theirs, not yours. That is mental discipline. That is calm. That is power. That is freedom. Finally, this skill is a practice. Old habits will push you to mirror. Impulses will tempt you to react. That is normal. Each time you pause. Each time you observe without absorbing. Each time you choose not to mirror, you grow stronger. Over time, calm becomes automatic. Steadiness becomes instinct. Their emotions are theirs, not yours. Make it a mantra. Make it a habit. Make it a lifestyle. And now, as you internalize this lesson, remember, you are not at the mercy of others' panic or anger. You choose your state. You control your mind. You remain the calm center in chaos. You mastered mental distance. You mastered observation. Next, let's take control of your body to control your mind. Chapter 8. Slow your body to control your mind. Listen carefully. Most people think their mind controls everything. That is partially true. But your body drives your mind more than you realize. Your posture, your breathing, your movements, they dictate your emotional state. Rapid movements, shallow breathing, tense muscles, they create stress, anxiety, and impulsive reactions. You are here to reverse that. You are here to take control. Slow body. Strong mind. Say it. Repeat it. Anchor it. Make it instinctive. You have a choice. You can rush, react, and let your body dictate your thoughts. Or you can slow down, breathe deeply, move deliberately, and take control. That's the key. Most people ignore this link. They act as if the body is secondary. It is not. Discipline begins with the body. Mental strength is built on physical control. Slow body. Strong mind. Repeat it until it shapes your behavior. Here's the first technique. Control your breathing. Most people breathe shallowly when stressed. Heart rate rises. Thoughts race. Calm your breath. Inhale slowly. Exhale fully. Count if necessary. Focus on rhythm. Each breath slows your mind. Each breath reinforces control. Slow body. Strong mind. That's your weapon. That's your shield. That's your discipline. Second technique. Move with intention. Every step, every gesture, every action, make it deliberate. Don't rush. Don't fidget. Rapid, uncontrolled movements fuel mental chaos. Slow down your actions. Slow your pace. Speak slower. Move with purpose. Let your body signal calmness to your mind. Slow body. Strong mind. That's the key. That's control. That's mastery. Example, a tense meeting. Most people pace, gesticulate wildly, speak quickly. Anxiety spreads. Decisions falter. Not you. You breathe. You pause. You lower your tone. You move intentionally. The room reacts to your steadiness. Your mind remains clear. Slow body. Strong mind. That is the invisible power others overlook. That is discipline in action. That is mental toughness. Another example, traffic jam. Someone cuts you off. Most people react instantly, heart racing, hands tense. You exhale. You adjust your body. You slow your posture. You move deliberately. You respond with clarity, not impulse. Slow body. Strong mind. That is the training that builds unshakable composure. Here's a third technique, facial relaxation. Tight jaw, furrowed brow, clenched teeth, these amplify tension. Relax them consciously. Let your face release stress. Let your shoulders drop. Let your hands soften. Every relaxed muscle sends a message to your mind, calm. Every tense muscle signals panic. Slow body. Strong mind. That's your discipline. That's your edge. That's your control. Why does this matter? Physical states drive thoughts more than people admit. Speed, tension, agitation. They escalate stress and weaken decision-making. Slow your body, and your mind follows. Control your body, and you control outcomes. You have a choice. You don't need permission from chaos around you. You don't need others' reactions to dictate your state. Slow body. Strong mind. Anchor it. Live it. Own it. Now, consider layering techniques. Combine slow breathing with intentional movement. Add pauses between words. Step with awareness. Each layer amplifies the effect. Each layer strengthens discipline. Each layer trains the mind to respond rather than react. Slow body. Strong mind. Repeat it until it becomes instinct. Repeat it until it becomes identity. Repeat it until it defines your behavior under pressure. Real-world application. Confrontational discussion. Most people raise voices, tense up, mirror anger. You remain steady. Slow your breath. Move deliberately. Speak with measured tone. Calm spreads through your presence. Your mind stays clear. Your decisions are deliberate. Slow body. Strong mind. That is transformation. That is mastery. That is resilience. Another layer, recovery under stress. After a sudden problem, a harsh comment, or unexpected pressure, most people react immediately, racing to solve, escalating tension. You pause. You breathe. You move intentionally. Reset your physical state. Reset your mental state. Every pause strengthens your mind. Every deliberate movement reinforces control. Slow body. Strong mind. That's the invisible habit of mental toughness. That's the edge few develop. That's the discipline that defines winners. Finally, practice daily. During mundane tasks, practice intentional movement. Slow walking. Measured gestures. Controlled breathing. It embeds the habit. It trains the mind for crisis. Mental clarity becomes second nature. Calm becomes instinct. Discipline becomes automatic. Slow body. Strong mind. Repeat it. Live it. Own it. And now, as you internalize this skill, remember, controlling your body controls your mind. You mastered mental distance. You mastered observation. You mastered not mirroring others' emotions. You now harness physical discipline to strengthen mental discipline. Next, we will focus on a critical principle. Strength comes from what you ignore. Chapter 9. Strength comes from what you ignore. Listen carefully. Strength is not reacting to everything. Most people give away their energy freely. They respond to every insult, every criticism, every drama. That is weakness. That is surrender. You are not here to surrender. You are here to choose. You are here to focus on what matters and let go of the rest. Ignore to stay in power. Say it. Repeat it. Live it. You have a choice. Every distraction, every provocation, every emotional trigger, you can react or you can let it go. That's the key. Strength is not in constant engagement. Strength is in discernment. Strength is in knowing what deserves your attention and what doesn't. Ignore to stay in power. Make it a mantra. Make it your instinct. Consider the people around you. Colleagues, friends, family, they all throw energy your way, knowingly or unknowingly. Most absorb it all. Most let it affect their mood, their focus, their decisions. Not you. You pause. You observe. You filter. You decide what matters. Ignore to stay in power. That is discipline. That is mental toughness. That is calm under pressure. First principle, filter the irrelevant. Not every word deserves attention. Not every opinion is valuable. Stop giving energy to ego-driven statements. Stop internalizing petty conflicts. Step back. Decide. Filter. Let the trivial slide. Focus your mind only on what moves you forward. Ignore to stay in power. That is control. That is clarity. That is freedom. Second principle, detach from emotional bait. People often provoke to manipulate. Anger, panic, guilt, fear. Most bite immediately. They react unconsciously. You pause. You breathe. You assess. You choose. You refuse to be baited. Ignore to stay in power. That is self-mastery. That is strategic composure. That is influence. Example, workplace tension. A colleague insults you. Most respond with anger or frustration. You remain calm. You control your focus. You redirect your energy toward solutions, not drama. You choose impact over impulse. Ignore to stay in power. That is invisible strength. That is leadership without aggression. That is quiet dominance. Third principle, set internal rules. Decide in advance what matters. Label distractions, insults, and provocations as irrelevant. Make it automatic. This does not deserve my energy. Repeat it mentally every time you are provoked. Ignore to stay in power. That is preparation. That is self-discipline. That is mental resilience. Daily example, social media. Everyone reacts. Everyone debates. Everyone gets triggered. Most waste hours on nothing. You filter. You select. You ignore the noise. You preserve your mental energy for actions that matter. Ignore to stay in power. That is discipline in action. That is mental toughness practiced daily. That is calm under chaos. Another example, family arguments. Children misbehave, relatives criticize, tension rises. Most react instinctively. You pause. You assess. You choose. You respond only when it serves purpose. Calm becomes your tool. Calm becomes your authority. Ignore to stay in power. That is mastery of self. That is energy preservation. That is influence without force. Why does this matter? Energy is finite. Attention is valuable. Every reaction dilutes focus. Every emotional response consumes clarity. True strength is in selective attention. Ignore to stay in power. That is how calm becomes automatic. That is how decisions stay precise. That is how influence spreads quietly but powerfully. Layer all techniques, filter distractions, detach from bait, enforce internal rules. Observe triggers without absorbing. Step back. Respond only to what matters. Every ignored provocation strengthens calm. Every non-reacted insult builds resilience. Ignore to stay in power. Repeat it. Anchor it. Make it instinctive. Make it your second nature. Extreme scenario. A confrontation escalates. Voices rise. Threats are made. Most react impulsively. You pause. You step back. You breathe. You ignore the chaos that doesn't serve your purpose. You act deliberately on what matters. Ignore to stay in power. That is unshakable discipline. That is mental dominance. That is invisible authority. Daily exercise. Identify triggers. Observe what normally provokes you. Pause. Decide. Filter. Ignore. Each repetition builds strength. Each ignored distraction fortifies your calm. Each deliberate choice strengthens mental toughness. Ignore to stay in power. Make it a habit. Make it instinct. Make it automatic. Finally, remember, power is quiet. Strength is subtle. Calm is strategic. Reacting to everything is weakness disguised as engagement. Master selective attention. Master ignoring the irrelevant. Master directing your energy toward what truly matters. Ignore to stay in power. That is your discipline. That is your freedom. That is your edge. And now, as you internalize this skill, remember, you have mastered filtering, detachment, and selective attention. You have preserved energy, focus, and clarity. Next, we bring it all together. You are ready to Chapter 10. Chapter 10. Become the calm center in a chaotic world. You have practiced all the previous steps. You have paused before reacting. You have detached instead of absorbing. You have slowed your body so your mind stays sharp. You have ignored what doesn't matter. You have stepped back and seen clearly. Now it's time to put it all together. To become the calm center in a chaotic world. This is not a trick. This is not theory. This is discipline. This is practice. Be the center. Be the calm. Say it. Repeat it. Anchor it. Live it. Repeat it again. Let it define every decision, every reaction, every movement. Every environment you enter is full of chaos. People argue. Deadlines scream. Traffic frustrates. Conversations escalate. Social media provokes. News terrifies. Most people react immediately. Most people lose their balance. You anchor. You observe. You filter. You act intentionally. Be the center. Be the calm. That is mastery. That is influence. That is power in action. Step 1. Anchor yourself first. Before engaging in any situation, check your mental state. Are you reactive? Distracted? Influenced by emotion? Pause. Breathe. Stabilize your mind. Decide your center. Hold it. Make calm your default. Be the center. Be the calm. That is preparation. That is control. That is unstoppable power. Do not let your environment dictate your state. You have a choice. You always have a choice. Step 2. Observe without absorbing. You can see tension without letting it affect you. You can hear insults without reacting. You can watch panic without mirroring it. You can remain steady while everyone else escalates. Be the center. Be the calm. That is emotional mastery. That is invisible strength. That is influence without aggression. Their chaos is theirs. It does not belong to you. You do not absorb it. You do not carry it. Their emotions are theirs, not yours. Step 3. Use silence strategically. Chaos grows with noise. Most respond immediately with words, complaints, or defense. You respond with silence. You measure. You listen. You choose the exact moment to act or speak. Silence becomes your tool. Silence becomes your shield. Be the center. Be the calm. That is mental toughness in motion. That is authority without force. That is influence that cannot be contested. Let others reveal themselves first. Let quiet observation guide your actions. Step 4. Control your body to control the room. A calm face, slow breathing, measured movements, these communicate stability. Others mirror you. Others follow your lead. You don't need to shout. You don't need to argue. Your presence alone is enough. Be the center. Be the calm. That is influence. That is discipline. That is power. When you slow your physical state, your mind follows. When your mind is steady, others instinctively follow. Step 5. Step back and see clearly. Situations rarely require immediate, emotional responses. By taking mental distance, you evaluate objectively. You see patterns others miss. You see opportunities they ignore. You see the truths behind chaos. Be the center. Be the calm. That is insight. That is clarity. That is strategic advantage. Distance allows perspective. Perspective allows choice. Choice allows mastery. Without this, calm is temporary. With this, calm becomes your identity. Step 6. Anchor others subtly. People naturally seek stability. When you remain unshakable, others unconsciously align with you. They seek your judgment. They mirror your calm. Be the center. Be the calm. That is leadership. That is quiet dominance. That is power exercised without force. Your presence alone can de-escalate conflicts. Your steady energy shapes the environment without a word. That is influence at its purest. Step 7. Ignore what doesn't matter. Chaos thrives on distraction. Most react to every insult, complaint, or drama. You filter. You choose. You respond only to what is essential. Be the center. Be the calm. That is selective attention. That is energy preservation. That is unstoppable composure. Every time you ignore provocation, you build unshakable calm. Every time you filter distraction, your power grows. Ignore to stay in power. Step 8. Reinforce your calm through repetition. Every stressful moment is practice. Every challenge is training. You do not react impulsively. You do not absorb unnecessary emotion. You pause. You breathe. You choose your action. Be the center. Be the calm. Repeat it. Anchor it. Make it instinct. Make it automatic. The more you practice, the more your calm becomes unbreakable. Step 9. Recognize the power of influence without noise. Most people equate strength with loudness. They equate reaction with authority. You know better. True strength is invisible. True authority is quiet. True power is calm. Be the center. Be the calm. Your presence shifts energy. Your composure sets tone. Your stability becomes contagious. Your calm changes the room. Your silence communicates authority. Your measured words carry weight because they are rare. Step 10. Internalize your calm as identity. This is no longer a technique. This is who you are. Every interaction, environment, and challenge is filtered through this calm lens. You are not reacting to chaos. You are commanding it internally. You are the anchor. You are the center. You are the calm. Be the center. Be the calm. Repeat it. Own it. Live it. Make it automatic. Let it define your presence. Let it define your decisions. Let it define your power. Chaos will always exist. It will provoke you. It will try to break your focus. But you have trained. You have practiced. You have mastered every previous step. You pause. You breathe. You detach. You slow. You ignore. You step back. You anchor. You influence. You observe. You act deliberately. You remain unshakable. Be the center. Be the calm. Remember this: calm is not weakness. Calm is control. Calm is clarity. Calm is power. The world will always try to drag you into chaos, but you now know the techniques that keep your mind steady. You pause before reacting. You detach instead of absorbing. You slow your body so your mind stays sharp. You choose silence when others choose noise. You stay neutral when others fall apart. You have learned how to step back, see clearly, and remain unshakable under pressure. From this moment forward, you are no longer shaped by chaos. You rise above it. You are the calm center. You are the stable mind. You are the disciplined one. Now here is your challenge. For the next 72 hours, practice staying calm in situations where you would normally react. Win those moments, and you will change your entire life.